Father, we bow in your presence today. God, it's a beautiful day that you blessed us with. God, this is a day that you've made. And God, you ask us to rejoice in it, and so, Lord, we will. We thank you, Father, for everybody that's represented here today, all the businesses, Lord, that make up Pulaski County. And God, we're honored to be able to sit amongst friends and family, Lord, as we partake in a wonderful meal that's been provided. And God, I pray that you'd bless it to our bodies, God, and I pray, Father, that you would allow us to serve you faithfully, Lord, not only today, but in the weeks and months to come. So God, bless our fellowship together, and we ask it today in Jesus' name. And everybody says, God bless y'all.
Thank you very much, Pastor Hampton. Okay, going to go ahead. We have one, two for Tuesday today and I guess Nina Lyles represents several different companies under that Hemisphere Limited umbrella. I believe today you're going to be talking a little bit about Liquor Emporium. Is that correct? So if I could at this point, if I could have Nina Lyles please come forward.
Hi guys. How's everybody doing? Hi. Anybody there? Hi. My name is Nina Lyle. I'm the Director of Marketing at Hemisphere Limited, just in case you can't hear me. We have several companies here today. We've got Continental Refining Company, we've got Warner Fertilizer, and we've got Liquor Emporium. And Liquor Emporium has a couple of, actually we have a few new products and services that we're doing. And I'd like to go ahead and play a video for you. That way I don't have to speak and bore you with my voice. And here we go.
Ho, ho, ho! I'm going to take you on a journey into Somerset, Kentucky's Liquor Emporium. Conveniently located on the 914 bypass next to Midland Farms off Oak Hill Road in Somerset, Kentucky. We have a few new products and services we want to show you. The first service is our wedding and event alcohol calculator. We created a calculator to estimate how much alcohol you'll need for your special occasion. Just visit our website and stop by the store. Answer a few simple questions, and we will approximate what you need and how much it's going to cost you. Buy your wedding or event alcohol from us, and we'll give you an additional discount of 10 to 20%, depending on the package you choose and the volume you need. We offer personalized bottle engraving. Just stop in, purchase a bottle for engraving. We'll design and engrave it. Personalized bottles make perfect gifts for friends and families. The bottles also make an excellent gift for our business clients. Just send us your company logo, your client list, and we'll ship your personalized bottles out to your list. Are you getting hitched? We also offer personalized barrelheads as an alternative guest book. Our barrelheads are perfect for barn weddings, man caves, houseboats, or any place Kentucky bourbon lovers gather. Make them wish they were here with one of our season's greetings from Lake Cumberland engraved barrelheads. We're having a Black Friday sale November 28th. We put our Black Friday coupons good for $5 off a personalized engraving service, $20 off the purchase of a personalized barrelheads, as well as 10% off on all wine in the store on the tables. If you don't find any, see that pretty little lady over at the Liquor Emporium table? Say hi, Jess. She's got a handful of coupons, samples of bottles, and bourbon heads. Go give her a look-see, why don't you? Much obliged to you all for joining me on this journey. And happy holidays from all of us at Liquor Emporium. Ho, ho, ho!
Nina, you did a great job there. You didn't sound a thing like Sam Elliott, but you did a really good job. Thank you very much for some valuable information. So lots of people have been involved in today's luncheon. I want to thank Ashley DeBoard and Glory Gardens and Greenhouse for the centerpieces on your all's tables. These are for you all to take today if you would like. There is no charge. Obviously, we would like for you to go out and support Ashley and her greenhouse, but enjoy the centerpieces, and please feel free to take those with you today. Also want to thank our friends at App Harvest for the goodies on the way in today. So Where are my notes? I believe I left them down there. I was gonna. So I believe that Willie wanted me to remind everybody that the tomatoes are from Moorhead, the lettuce is from Berea, and the strawberries are from just up the road. They're from here in Somerset. So very excited to have those with us. Thank you guys for bringing those. So if we could, big round of applause for Ashley and App Harvest as well. Thank you all very much. Hopefully you guys will take all that produce with you today. Also, we have a ton of info tables here today, and I'd like to recognize these people. So this is a free service we provide to any of our chamber members. You can call us and you can set up a table for your business or your organization, and you can talk and interact with our crowds at our luncheons. I want to recognize all the people that are here. The Pulaski County Farm Bureau, Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, the historic Scott County Jail, Crown Staffing Services, Bluegrass Senior Living, Toyotetsu, First Choice Clinic, Edward Jones Financial Services, Stephen Booth Agent, ASR Massage, Skyhope Women's Recovery Center, Protea Behavioral Health Counseling, Insight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's fun, Heads Up Digital TV, Warner Fertilizer, Continental Refining Company, Liquor Emporium, Mind Your Autistic Brain, App Harvest, Mill Springs National Monument and Battlefield, 5-Star Land and Title, Cumberland Falls State Park and Resort, United Way of South Central Kentucky, Hospice of Lake Cumberland, and the Cumberland Workforce Development. Big round of applause for all these businesses. I will put in a quick shameless plug also for some upcoming events. Mark your calendars. We have the community tree lighting on Thursday, December the 1st. We have the Christmas parade on Saturday, December 3rd. So please go ahead and mark your calendars for those. And then in December, as you all know, we do a holiday auction at our luncheon. It'll be our 13th annual Chamber Holiday Auction. That will be on Tuesday, December the 6th, which is 1 month from today. So go ahead and mark your calendars. We have a big December coming up, and we're very excited to share that with our members. Also with us today is the Pulaski County High School golf team, who after claiming both a region championship as well as a sub-state championship, finished 8th in the state at the Kentucky High School Athletic Association State Championship. So I'd like to recognize them, and with them today, we've got Coach John Fraley. You could all please stand and be recognized. Zach Oosley, Reese Broughton, Mason Doherty, Clayton Lancaster, Matt King, and Kellen McKinney. Big round of applause for these young men. And congratulations to Coach Fraley for a fantastic season. Thank you all very much for being here with us today. So with that, I'm going to get off the stage, and I'm going to turn everything over. I'm going to turn it over to my boss, Ms. Tiffany Finley, who's going to take this program home. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bobby, and welcome everyone. We want to welcome all of our guests, our public officials and their reps today, and of course all of our members. If you don't mind, take a second to please look at the tents on your table, and up here on the wall we have all of our world-class Chairman Circle and Ambassador Circle sponsors. We are just so thankful for what these sponsors contribute to the quality programming and resources of the Chamber. And so let's just please give them all a big round of applause. And I think we have a new Ambassador Circle sponsor today. Yes, RB Dry Cleaners. Are they here today? See them? No? Well, thank you to RB Dry Cleaners, and we really appreciate you. We would also like to thank the Center for Rural Development for hosting our luncheon today, Karen's Catering and Event Planning for our lovely Thanksgiving meal today, and Coca-Cola Bottling of Somerset and Pepsi Cola Bottling of Somerset for providing our beverages. At this time, I will ask our Vice President, Sean Daughtry, to come up and introduce our new members.
All right, Bill's been out there beating the trail this month. We've got a lot of new members, and I want to introduce them now. As I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Ace Solutions LLC, Bob Jennings. Bluegrass Marble and Granite, Kim Adams. Cassida's Automotive, Josh Cassida. Embassy Studio Tattoo Shop, Austin Fair and Jay Patel. Historic Scott County Jail, Miranda Young and Christy Summer. Inside Brazilian Jitsu, Sheldon and Shanna Volka. KO Express Somerset, Jamin Liev. Lake Vista Properties, Lynn and Summer Lowry. Lux Spa, Hannah Sharp and Tanya Dick. Southern Kentucky Industrial Equipment, Tyler Moschkel. The Magnolia, Leslie and Ron Hart. The Maker's Mill, Ansley Humble. And last but not least, the Whippoorwill Diner, Charles and Amber Wright. All right, let's give everybody a big round of applause for their new membership in the chamber. Thank you.
If you are a chamber ambassador, please stand up at this time so we can thank you for everything that you do for the chamber and keep us running smoothly. Let's give them a round of applause. And this month's Ambassador of the Month from United Way, South Central Kentucky, Crystal Cox. Congratulations, Crystal. So both of our corporate sponsors today deferred their time to Dr. Quarles, but I do want to recognize them. From Pulaski County Farm Bureau, we have David Taylor here and several of the board members, so thanks to you guys. Let's see, where are they? Where are they? Oh, right in front of my face. There you go. And then also from Prairie Farms, I wanted to thank them also for the eggnog and the ice cream that they donated today. But we have, of course, Mike Chandler here, but we also have from Prairie Farms National Board of Directors, Dante Carpenter and several of their board members. So thank you guys and welcome. All right, and now for our guest speaker. Dr. Ryan F. Quarles serves as Kentucky's Commissioner of Agriculture, first elected to that position in 2015. He was re-elected in 2019, winning 117 of 120 counties. Under his leadership, the Kentucky Department of Agriculture started several new programs, including initiatives to combat hunger and connect Kentucky farmers to new markets. Quarles graduated from the University of Kentucky in 2006 with 3 undergraduate majors and 2 graduate degrees. In 2008, he graduated with a master's degree in higher education from Harvard University. He received his law degree from the University of Kentucky and a doctorate in higher education from Vanderbilt University in 2018. From 2010 to 2014, Quarles served as a member of the House of Representatives. A native of Scott County, he grew up on his family's farm in central Kentucky, an area where they have lived and farmed for more than 200 years. At this time, please welcome Kentucky Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Ryan F. Quarles.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. The only thing you forgot to mention was how much student loan debt I had as well after all those degrees. But you know, it's the beginning of November. It's fall. Right now is a time of 3 of my favorite seasons. It's football season, basketball season, and deer season. So we have a lot of fun down this way, and pumpkin spice is still on most people's menus as well. And speaking of food, let's give Karen's a round of applause for catering today. That was a wonderful meal. And they are Kentucky proud. I just came from Mark Haney's apple orchard just now. He has people from all across the state. He sends his welcomes, as well as Congressman Rogers as well. And just one moment, just to say how lucky Somerset is to have 2 extraordinary leaders that hail from Pulaski County. Mark is known all across the United States, and especially in Kentucky, for agriculture. Of course, now Pulaski County is home of the Dean of the House of Representatives as well. And Mayor, you got a lot of great things going on here. It's always a good time to be back in Somerset as well. I'm going to talk just about a couple things here. Glad to take a question or two. But I want to have a conversation about what agriculture means in our state and how it has changed and how we are pivoting out of COVID-19 as well. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is raise your hand if you've ever worked in tobacco in your life, and just look around. Okay. Now keep your hand raised if you're working in tobacco in 2022. All right. We've got one left. I'm sure he might be trying to hire people right now. But that shows you visually in this room how agriculture has changed in the past 20 years. Tobacco was our dominant crop ever since the 1930s. My family continues to grow the crop in Scott County, Kentucky, where I'm from. And tobacco paid the bills for first-time home ownership, first-time farms. It paid off trucks. It paid for college tuition. And it paid for Christmas as well. And so my first point is that we've done something extraordinary in Kentucky agriculture. Is that when you take the #1 crop out of our economy, our farm cash receipts actually grew and went up. So imagine if you went to Iowa, which produces 24% of all the corn in the United States, and you went to their state agriculture commissioner and said, hey, in 10 years, you can no longer grow corn. We did that here, and we did it by growing, because agriculture in Kentucky is diversified, it's strong, and it is the economic driver in our rural counties. And right here in Pulaski County, you have 1,706 farms. You're farming 226,000 acres. And here's the most important part of it all. Your farmers bring in $55 million of direct cash receipts right here in Pulaski County every single year. That money gets turned around to the banks. It gets spent around the holidays. And so that money continues to stay local. Statewide, agriculture is the 2nd largest employer in our state. There's only one industry that's bigger than us, and that's manufacturing. So about 250,000 people call agriculture their occupation every single day. We have 76,000 farms, and we bring in an economic impact of $45 billion, easily 20% of the entire state's GDP. And right here in Pulaski County, you've got a lot of good things going for you that are agriculture related. Of course, you have prairie farms, one of 7 milk processors in our state. They're buying milk locally, and you can taste the goodness this afternoon. You also have App Harvest that has come to the community. Great job on the strawberries. Continental Refinery. This is the newest soybean crush facility in Kentucky. And the important thing is that it is servicing Eastern Kentucky. You have producers in this county that prior to this processor opening up were trucking and probably will continue to truck soybeans from Pulaski County to Owensboro. So imagine the cost cutting when it comes to having an agriculture business like that here as well. The mayor did a good job of landing a significant bourbon distillery here as well, Horse Soldier Bourbon. Our bourbon industry liquefies 20 million bushels of corn into our state's signature drink every single year. So I've got a pretty fun job because I get to work with cows, plows, sows, race horses, and Kentucky bourbon. And so when I travel the world, you tell someone you're from Kentucky, they mention 3 things. They mention bourbon, they mention racehorses, and Colonel Sanders. And all 3 of those are strong identity factors for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So it doesn't matter where I go in the United States or around the world, Kentucky has a head start when it comes to marketing and selling the rest of the world. The 95% of people that do not live in the United States, they know about Kentucky because of agriculture. Now, COVID-19 has affected just about everybody in this room. Either you know someone that may have passed away or someone that may be dealing with that terrible disease right now. And in my book, there's 2 groups of people that deserve accolades for going above and beyond during this terrible pandemic. Number 1 would be our healthcare heroes, our nurses, doctors, that are working in our long-term care facilities, our nursing homes, hospitals as well. But number 2 would be a group of individuals that oftentimes don't get the limelight that they deserve. That when the economy was shut down and people had to transition to learn at home or work from home, or they may have lost their jobs, the Kentucky farmers got out into the field and fed a hungry state and a hungry nation. And they deserve a round of applause. And if you are a farmer in the crowd today, please stand up, because we want to say thank you for what you do. So please stand up. I know there's a few out here. Thank you for what you do. Our farmers did not take a single telecommute day. You can't zoom it in on the farm, and they're the ones that really give me inspiration in my job right now because they're hard-working individuals. Now, during COVID, we learned a thing or two about the food supply system. If you go back in time and remember going to the grocery store in March or April of 2020, and went back to the meat section, you may have been limited on how much meat you could buy. Your favorite cut may not have been available. And as Americans, we're not used to that. We're not used to shortages in our grocery stores. But one thing that we did was that we used our precious tobacco settlement dollars, which are dollars that our legislature has wisely left half to go back into diversification of Kentucky agriculture, and we invested in about 30 locally owned, Kentucky-owned meat processors around Kentucky, so that our animals, they may be bred here, fed here, finished out, and now processed here. And that's a strategic investment across our state, because anytime you can have that animal protein being processed here, the profits are staying in your local community. And Summit Meats is here today, and Kyle, he was a recipient of one of about 30 different processing plants that helped expand during the pandemic. And that helps us all out, because in Kentucky, we support local. We support Kentucky proud. We have one of the state's most iconic marketing symbols and logos. Other states come to Kentucky to learn about what Kentucky Proud means, and I'm so thrilled to see so many of our Kentucky Proud members here today. And we have 6,000 companies, we call them members, 6,000 members who market their goods underneath the iconic Kentucky Proud brand every single day. And you don't have to look too far to see the impact of local agriculture. We have 170 farmers markets across our states. We're working with our local retailers, whether it's Kroger or Houchins and IGA, to get Kentucky Proud onto the retail space and grocery stores as well. But since the pandemic, We have doubled down on the biggest buyer of food in every single county in Kentucky. Can anyone guess who buys the most food out of any entity in Pulaski County? The school system. That's right. The school system is the biggest buyer of food in every single county in Kentucky. It doesn't matter if you're in Robertson County or if you're in Jefferson County. So what we've done is that we have had direct conversations with the school food service directors, school nutritionists, and say, what can we do to break down the barriers so that Kentucky farmers can have a first chance to get on the school lunch menu or the school breakfast? 10 years ago, only about 10% of our public schools had locally sourced food on their school lunch. Today, 80% of all the public schools in Kentucky have at least some Kentucky proud, some locally grown, locally sourced food on their school lunch. And that's a strategic investment as well, because it might encourage a local processor or farmer to say, you know what, I'm gonna build a greenhouse. I'm gonna invest in a high tunnel. I'm gonna make that production change so that I can sell local. Because one of the statistics that we're trying to bring down across the United States is that the average distance that food travels from a farmer's gate to your dinner plate is 1,500 miles, 1,500 miles. So imagine what we could do if we just doubled down on local agriculture, whether it's meat processing, whether it's high-tech, large-scale greenhouses, controlled environment, whether it's making sure that we make farmers markets not something that's just a novelty on a Saturday morning, but something that we consistently invest in. And that's what we're going to be focusing on here in the near future, because the Kentucky Proud is an economic development tool. What I see sometimes at our farmers markets are people who took grandma's apple pie recipe and started selling it on the weekends. The next thing they know, they're selling it in bakeries. They're selling it to restaurants in the community. There's a dairy farm over in Bowling Green that was going through some tough times. And his daughters came back to the farm and they decided to start bottling their milk. And now they're in 40 Kroger stores. Where you got folks like Prairie Farms that are buying local, making sure they're supporting local farms as well. That's big business, and so please don't overlook that in your hometown as well. A few things we're focusing on across the state is that we had a great county fair year. We have over 90 county fairs across Kentucky. I think Kentuckians were anxious to get outside, get their hands dirty, show some livestock as well. It led up to an amazing Kentucky State Fair. We had over 500,000 people visit the fairgrounds in Louisville, Kentucky. And so I always want to say thank you for those that support your county fairs. They're not money-making events. They're break-even events. But the best part about it is that for countless Kentucky farm kids, and more increasingly so, kids that have no farming background at all, our 4-H and FFA programs continue to shine. And if there's any organization that you may have an opportunity to support, I'd say it'd be hard-pressed to find ones that would be better than your local 4-H chapter or FFA chapter as well, because these two youth organizations transform countless young Kentuckians into leaders every single year as well. We're also having a conversation about farm safety across Kentucky. You know, when I was growing up, it was about physical safety around equipment. We still have, unfortunately, about a dozen fatalities a year on the farm. It's a hazardous occupation. People are outside, they're around big equipment. We're racing the weather to get the crops in, et cetera. But we've started to do something a little bit different these last couple of years. Because during COVID, we as a nation realized that we have a mental health crisis across our country. We were successful at grabbing down some USDA money, and the legislature put in some money as well. We're having a conversation across the state about mental health, mental stress, and suicide prevention as well out in rural Kentucky. So if you have any interest in that, please let us know, because we got to make sure that we're not just talking about physical safety on the farm, but checking in with our brothers and sisters out in rural Kentucky as well. A bright spot has been international trade. We talked about bourbon, talked about racehorses. Earlier this year, I was in the United Kingdom and met with the Minister of Trade over there. We were able to successfully knock off a 25% tariff off of Kentucky bourbon that's going over to the European continent, European consumer base. I was in Dubai and Saudi Arabia earlier this year. They like Kentucky Proud horses. And so we're continuing to push international trade wherever we go as well. Now, I've talked about some rosy parts of Kentucky agriculture. Here are some challenges. Number one would be workforce development. Anybody here trying to hire somebody? It is time to stop paying people to sit at home and watch Netflix. We've got to get people back into the workforce. We've got to get them back into the workforce. And it's especially hard for agriculture because you have to convince and recruit folks that want to work with their hands. And so we need to make sure that we expose our students at the middle school, high school age, push vocational trades like welding and HVAC and plumbing, so that we can make sure that we have enough Kentuckians entering the workforce to fill these jobs. Another big issue right now is inflation. Right now, you're paying $3.50, maybe $3.75, depending on the day of the week, for gas. Well, farmers use diesel. Right now, it's at $5. Projections are saying $6, some are saying $7 a gallon for diesel fuel. Just about everything you buy or consume spends some time on a semi-truck. And when you see high fuel prices like that, it's going to continue to be passed down to the consumer. And it's unsustainable. This 8 and 9% historic inflation is stealing the profits out of the back pockets of our farmers every single day, and it's tough. We got to make sure that we support leaders in office that advocate for American energy independence so that we're not as dependent on foreign countries for not just our fuel, but also our economic freedom. And of course, we have supply chain issues. Every harvest, I always hear about farmers can't finding parts. And I know that this has unfortunately become a new norm with just about every business in the United States right now. But it's unfortunate when you have a $500,000 combine that is down for 2 weeks because of a $30 bearing, couldn't get unloaded in the ports of LA. We have got to do something to look towards America first and Kentucky first when it comes to the production. And it's not just food, it's a national security interest right now because you've got to be able to feed the populace to make sure that we have law and order as well. In Frankfort, we have some issues that we're continuing to work on. Thankfully, due to the leadership of Congressman Hal Rogers and your congressional delegation, we have that all-important middle mile completed across Kentucky for high-speed, quality, and affordable internet. Now we've got to finish that task with finishing out that last mile. We, as a generation, need to do the same thing that our grandparents did in the 1930s and 1940s with electrifying Kentucky with every hill, dusty farm gate, and holler across the state. Now we have to do it in broadband because if one thing we learned during COVID is that if you're expected to work at home, start a business at home, or if you're a child, learn at home, you have to have the same quality and speed of internet that some of our friends in the urban areas have as well. So we need to finish that out. Which brings me to one of the last issues that I care very deeply about. You know, a lot of times around the holiday season, we're asked to donate for food drives, which is incredible. But unfortunately, first due to COVID, and then again now with inflation, we're seeing a record number of Kentuckians going to their food banks and food pantries, many of whom is their very first time going because they simply cannot afford to put food on their table. 1 in 7 Kentuckians are food insecure. And if you start breaking it down by demographics, 1 in 4 K through 12 students are food insecure, especially in this region of the state. And the same statistics can oftentimes be applied for those who reach a demographic later in life. And so we got to make sure we take care of our brothers and sisters because agriculture, a lot of times we get excited about what are the yields, what's our efficiency, how many pounds of milk can we push out of a cow these days compared to 10 years ago. And that's all fine and dandy. But as the Commissioner of Agriculture, we want to make sure it's not just about the production of food or job creation, but it's also taking care of those less fortunate because at the end of the day, we all got to eat. We all got to support Kentucky agriculture. So in the past 7 years, I have focused on the Kentucky Hunger Initiative, where we brought people together from all aspects of the food production system, from the farmer that puts the seed in the ground, to our grocery stores, to our chefs that are preparing food, to our school systems, K through 12, higher ed, nutritionists, our church community, and our charitable community as well, to see what we can do to help reduce hunger in our state. Because if you're a kid going to school and you're hungry, the last thing on your mind is learning that day. And study after study after study will show you that if you're a food insecure student, you're more likely to fail grade, fail math, fall behind on test scores as well. And so if we want to help improve Kentucky, we got to make sure that we have the nutrition there as well. We've changed our state laws. We've made it easier to donate food. We've removed the ability of trial lawyers from potentially suing people that want to donate food. And we have changed the culture of giving. We have changed the culture of giving in our state. And I know Mark Haney's not here today, but every year we have a shotgun shoot, and we've raised $1 million to Kentucky Farm Bureau for our food banks. And that's just Kentucky Farm Bureau. We're also working with our ag credit institutions. We've had our Kentucky Cattlemen's Association donate 100,000 beef patties. Folks in the dairy industry donated untold number of gallons of milk to our food pantries as well. Slices of cheese. We had 5,000 pounds of Purnell's Old Folks Country sausage. It's good sausage donated to our food banks as well. And so when I leave office next year, if you ask me, what are the two things you accomplished? I'd say number one, we continue to grow the farming community in Kentucky, improve our economic status, and help give inspiration to those who are not in agriculture a chance to join Kentucky agriculture. But the second thing is that we did something significant, and we will continue to do so for those suffering from food insecurity in our state. Now, I do have a piece of homework for you today. Number one, if you know a farmer, be sure to say thank you. Number two, the best way to say thank you is to support your local farmer at a farmer's market or throughout the year as well. The third thing you can do around the holiday season is perhaps sit down and have a conversation with our farming community, because the age of the Kentucky farmer continues to get older and older. The average age of a farmer in Kentucky is 62 years old. The average age. Name another occupation where the average age is almost retirement age. And then take it to the next level. We estimate that one third of all the farmers in Kentucky do not have a succession plan. They do not know who's going to take over the family farm after they leave. Whether the children decide to not come back to the farm, they can't find local tenants that are interested as well. And so there's 5 Ds that break up family farms in the United States of America: divorce, death, disability, drinking, and drugs. Those are the 5 Ds that break up family farms in the United States. The first 3 can be mitigated with a proper estate plan. So if you know somebody, or if you have someone in your family, regardless of age, because you never know when your last day on this earth will come, make sure that they have sat down and talked to an estate planning attorney, talked with their insurance folks, talked with their banking institution as well. Because the last thing you want to do is let the government decide how your lifetime of work is going to be divvied up. You're better off having your own plan for your family. Because if not, the government's going to give you one, and chances are they're not going to like it. And this making the assumption that your kids are going to get along is no plan at all. So I'd like to remind folks, encourage people, especially during the holidays when things slow down a little bit, to get an estate plan. Because the next best thing of having your own will is that maybe you end up in somebody else's. So you might end up benefiting from that as well. So in conclusion, I just want to say it's an honor to be here today. A lot of family and friends are here. My family has a historic connection with Somerset. One of the first Quarles in Kentucky was Tunstall Quarles. He moved here to start farming. He oversaw the construction of the original county clerk's office when he was here. He got elected to Congress and served with Henry Clay in the 1820s. And so we always kind of feel Somerset is home for us historically as well. Please be sure to share the road. Our farmers want to get home safe to their families as well. I know it can be frustrating being stuck behind a slow tractor sometimes or a combine, but we want to get home safe to our family as well. Please support your food banks. There's one of 3 things that you can do if you want to help out those less fortunate. Number 1, donate some food to your pantry. If you can't donate food, consider donating some money. If you can't donate food or money, consider donating some of your time, because we're always looking for hands, especially for our backpack program here in Pulaski County. Now, folks, I was privileged to grow up on a family farm. I'm the 9th generation Kentuckian. I had the opportunity to work for $1 an hour when I turned 6 years old working in tobacco. I know a lot of you in this room can relate to that. And I never thought that those rural roots that were instilled in me at a young age would lead me to where I'm at today. I'm very blessed to serve as Commissioner of Agriculture. It's been an honor of a lifetime to serve in a legislative capacity as well. And I was also really blessed to be able to go to college. But no matter what happens and wherever I go in the world, I'm always thankful of who we are as Americans. Because there's untold millions across this world that look towards our country even today. And they see that shining city on a hill, that we are the beacon of freedom for untold numbers around the world that do not get the rights, freedoms, and liberties that sometimes we take for granted as Americans. And so please go out and vote next Tuesday. We've had people lose their lives fighting for this country. The least we can do is be active citizens in the Commonwealth. So please get out and vote. I'm proud of our farming community. I'm proud to be an American. And I'm proud to live in a country where we stand for our flag, where we kneel before our God, and where we give our men and women in law enforcement and the military the respect that they deserve. May God bless you. May God bless the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thanks for having me today.
So we'll do a couple of questions. We have time, so we'll have a mic here. Bobby, does anyone have a question for Dr. Quarles? Maybe? I didn't know if the mics were up here for that. No? We good?
It's okay. I think I bored everybody, so it's all right. Thank you all so much.
What are those? That's on top of these? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate you being here and everything you do. Guys, we have a new chamber board member that I forgot to introduce earlier, so I'm going to take the time now to do so. And so it's from Molly Hardy Law Office, Miss Marty Hardy. Sorry, Molly Hardy. That was a tongue twister. If you could stand up, If you can stand up, Molly. Thank you. I'm going to say that 5 times fast. Appreciate you and can't wait to get to know you more in the coming years. Our next luncheon is December 6th, right here at noon. Again, this is our holiday auction. All the money that we raise goes to Somerset Community College for scholarships, so please come out in a big way and support that cause. I also wanted to plug our Rise number 4. It's a networking holiday event for all of you ladies. It's going to be on December 13th, which is a Tuesday night, from 5 to 8, kind of a come and go thing, at the new Maker's Mill. So we're going to shop and network, get to know each other, and we'll be sending out information about that really soon, so make sure you RSVP. We've been having really large crowds, about 150 women each time, so would love to encourage you to send your employees and come out and support that cause. Let's see, so now we have the prizes. So if everybody can get their tickets out. Do you want me to do those last? Do them first? Okay. So from our sponsors, we have from Pulaski County Farm Bureau, we have a Kentucky Farm Bureau Roadside Market gift certificate for $25. Okay. That is 1513. Oh, right over there. There we go. We have another roadside market gift certificate for $25, and that goes to 1657. Okay, right here in the back. Send the man up here. They're all the same. Okay, we have two more of these. So the first one will go to 1576. Can we see it? 1576. Gotta be loud if it's you. No? Okay. Move on. 1561. You see it? All right. And then the last one. Down here a little. 3688. Okay. Now from M&W Printing, we have a 20% off M&W Printing certificate. 1641. Oh, right here in front. From Buffalo Wings and Rings, we have $25. And that goes to 1659. Right here in the front. Then we have a Hardee's gift card for $20, Hardee's South. And that goes to 1634. Robert Parker. From RB Dry Cleaners, $20. We got 1573. In the very, very back. Okay, from the historic Scott County Jail. This place is super cool down in Tennessee. It's 2 general admission tickets to tour the jail, the historic jail, and those go to 1487. No? All right. Keep going. 1581. Okay. And I wanted to keep this one, ASR Massage, a 60-minute Swedish massage. uh, 3702. Oh, Crystal Cox, there you go, girl. If you don't like massages, send it my way. All right, we have 3 different things from Midland Farms. The first is a 1 large pizza and 3-piece chicken tender basket, $15.80. Oh, over here. And then we have 1 more of those. That goes to 1652. Oh, right here. And then, last but not least, from Midland Farms, we have this really cool Lake Cumberland serving tray. I like that too. 3706. Right here, Deborah. Okay. At this time, I will ask my friend Willie Wilson if he'll come up and lead us in the pledge, and we'll see you guys next month. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.